Gauteng High Court will today hear an application launched by the South African Human Rights Commission against the Department of Housing's alleged continuation to violate the rights of immigrants at the Lindela Repatriation Centre in Johannesburg. The allegations include detainees being detained for longer than the prescribed 120-day period allowed in terms of the Immigration Act. To find out more about these issues, we're joined now in the studio by Mkhuseli Apleni, Director General in Home Affairs, and Kayum Ahmed from the South African Human Rights Commission. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us. Kayum, just tell us a little bit more. What are the matters here? People get held for how many days in terms of your research?
What we are arguing is that many people get held for longer than the 120 days prescribed by the Immigration Act at the Lindela Repatriation Centre. Some people for as long as up to 6 months. And we believe that the
6 months?
6 months. So we believe that the Department of Home Affairs' actions in this regard is completely unlawful. And this is why we've lodged an urgent court application on the 2nd of November to ensure the release of these 39 co-applicants in this matter. Although when I consulted with our attorneys from the Legal Resources Centre last night, I was informed that most of these people had again been released by the Department of Home Affairs in violation of the fact that we are now taking this matter to court. So I am deeply disturbed by the attitude and the behavior of the Department of Home Affairs in this particular matter.
Okay, so DG, you know about this? You know that people get held for 6 months?
Yes, people at times they are held more than 120 days, but what we need to know, what is the reason for that?
What is the reason for it?
I think it is important for you first to understand that as a department, we are the signatory to the UN Convention, which spells out clearly how do you deal with the issues of deportation. Firstly, I cannot deport anybody to any country. I must only deport you to your original country. Therefore, once we get a deportee, I need to verify whether you are coming from that particular country. So to do that is where I'm dependent to that particular individual on the information is given to the department. For instance, now in the same case which they are taking to court, we've got a person who is saying, I'm an American, whereas that person is a Haitian. So now how do you deport that person? So I cannot do that.
So it's some of the 39 people. Now have you released them? The allegation is that now you've released them.
Well, if we don't release, we've got a responsibility as a department to deport people when we're supposed to be deporting. So those people who are due to be deported were deported. In the same case, Vuyo.
As part of these 39? In
the 39, in their list, they said we've got people who are in the Lindela who have been deported even before they're taking us to court. So the people who have left in Lindela are those who were left even before. So I do not know where did they get that list.
Whom you are holding for longer than 120 days?
Yes, they were already deported, but they are in their list which is taken to court.
Yeah.
Which I said they have not been released, whereas they were already been released.
Kayum?
I think that the DG is, with all due respect, being somewhat disingenuous. There were a number of individuals who our lawyers consulted with in the Lindela Repatriation Centre on the 6th of November, forming part of the list of 39. By the 8th of November, many of those people had been released by the officers of Home Affairs.
What does released mean? Deported or released back into South Africa?
From what we're told, deported. And this is done in violation of a court process that's unfolding. The department has also failed, by the way, to submit and lodge their papers in this matter. So it appears from the facts that we have at our disposal that the department was deliberately trying to undermine a court process. They have, with all due respect, again, violated, in my view, the Immigration Act, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights in this particular instance.
Did you?
Well, there's no reason for a department to do that. What we are respecting the courts as a department, what we're dealing with it is what is within the rights of the department to say, if the person has already been released, that person has been released. How would we keep the people? How do we argue for people who have been released even before the court? But if this matter is with the court, then it will be proven, because now I don't want to get into the...
So the difficulty is a verification process for the department to say, where do you deport these people to?
And also, one of the people, cases which we have, one of the person there is in a parole, and then this person has taken us to court 3 times. And all those 3 times, the cases have been ruled in our favor. That person is part of the list which is taken by this human resource. Now the question we're asking, does it mean that because a person is not being identifiable is not giving us the truth. We must release those individuals whilst they've committed crime.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about these 39. Where are they now? On the list of 39.
Yes, what I'm saying, we're on the list of the 39.
Yeah.
Some of the people which
How
are
many?
in the list, I think it's about 5 people who have already been released even before they've taken us to court on
so
the 4th.
So they've been deported?
On the 4th of November, they've been deported.
Right.
Because they were already not there.
Yeah.
By
So
the
there's
time
still another 34 though?
So the other people now are still in our custody.
Is there a way to expedite processes? Why is it that the department is not able to expedite processes?
Again, there's another rule which is very important, a non-enrollment rule, which means that I cannot deport you to a country where you can be killed. So I have to check those things and make sure that I take you to a safe country. So I cannot just take people just because we have arrested, it is 120 days, and then I just take them to the countries where they get. So I have to be checking those things, verify them, and then after that I follow them. But people, they know that they take these delays in order for us not to be able to effect the
Kayum, what relief are you looking for as the Human Rights Commission?
There were 2 components to our application. The second part is that we actually want to ensure that the department answers questions as to why these individuals were held for longer than 120 days. They need to provide us with explanations. And again, with respect to what the DG is saying, does it mean that Home Affairs does not have proper systems when people enter the country in the first instance so that they determine where these individuals are from? And secondly, how long does it possibly take to process these issues? Clearly, these are internal Home Affairs challenges. They have very little to do with people at Lindela. What we're also asking for is access to the Lindela Repatriation Center to continue to monitor the situation together with our civil society partners in this particular
With respect to the 39, what relief are you seeking? Are you seeking relief that says release them back into South African society?
Absolutely, that's exactly what we were looking at. But we are now told that most of the 39, in fact, our information is very different to what the DG is saying. Something like 38 of the 39 have already been released. And this
deported.
Is what, exactly, have been deported.
All right.
Well,
just one last bit, we're concluding.
Yes, well, let's start with the issue to say it is the problem of the Department of Home Affairs. It is clear for you that when you come to any country, you have to report. You have to go through a port of entry.
Right.
Some of the people, they are coming through a borderline. Secondly, the law says you must appear before a refugee reception office within 14 days. The people are talking about here, people are coming to our country illegally. And I think it is important to say, as a Department of Home Affairs, we've got a responsibility.
All right. Let's leave it at that. Thank you very much. Mkhuseli Apleni, Director General Home Affairs. Kayum Ahmed is CEO of the South African Human Rights Commission. So much to talk about. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Let's take a break. Morning Live continues after.